What about from like a stress perspective? I mean, my guess is this is stressful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So have you been in a similar stressful situation in the past that you figured out a way to get through it? And have you kind of looked back at those times to try to learn from that so that it could help you get through this?
Yeah, definitely. My background is actually in education and counseling. Served in family ministry also for years. Used to teach stress management workshops. So just because you teach some of that doesn't mean you're always good at it when the situation hits. So this has definitely been probably the most stressful year of our lives, but by far not the only stressful year. We've had a lot of years with a lot of challenges and dealt with a lot of things. And so we've had to really lean on one another as a family and lean on the community as much as we can. Been a little bit challenging with all the disconnect with a lot of communities right now because of the COVID situation, but leaning in and having support and lifting one another up has been really important.
Well, and if you said something at the start where people were thinking this is going to be a couple-week thing, right?
Yeah.
And so even now, 9 months into this, seems like it's 9 months. I don't know if maybe it's 10 months. It's like, okay, they seem to start to talk about a vaccine now, right? I guess today's the big day where the FDA approves or denies this vaccine. And then people in their minds are thinking, okay, immediately that's fixed. When I'm hearing summer is when even the masses start to get it. So you're still looking at 6 more months of that, if my math on when winter and summer meet. Right. So that would be what, 15, 16, 17 months. Like because I feel like you're the first person that we've talked to that opened a business right when all this nonsense happened, right? And so you obviously expected trouble in your first year, right? You anticipate you not having the greatest of first years because I think there is some sort of ramp up to get people to know who you are and stuff like that. But I mean, I reckon you didn't anticipate this, right?
Yeah, none of what we've had to deal with this year is what we expected.
Even companies like I look at I think about a company like J&A Racing who used to put on a lot of the races down there. I kind of think of them similar to what you're doing, and it's like they're just people are still running. They just can't have their events, or at least they couldn't have their events because they couldn't get permitted. Is my guess is why they couldn't, and many other races too. And so it's. I don't know. I'm all about like businesses being open and be able to win and stuff like that. And it's frustrating to see that there's so many mandates that you guys have to go through, and then have nothing in place really to help you to when you go through that. It's like, hey, we want you to be successful, but not really. I mean, that's how I take it. It's like, well, the safety of these people. Yes, I get that.
And you've seen businesses do a lot this year trying to accommodate things. So like we were in a restaurant, but you saw them, open up some outdoor dining options, and they're still trying to stretch into some of those things. The Atlantic Avenue Association was going to partner with the Boardwalk Art Show. Draws like 250,000 people every year. They had to move it. They were moving it from June to November. We were going to partner with them and offer this whole experience. And with
you've done that before, right? Is that the chalk one?
The Boardwalk, our show has the chalk and other things like that, but they were figuring out they're not going to do any food on the boardwalk. They're going to keep all the traffic moving one direction. And we were back in the summer trying to plan some of this with them, thinking, we don't know if this is even going to have to be an issue come November, but let's plan for just in case. How's this going to be safe? And how do we get people to come and visit the other businesses on the thing and put art installations in these things, keep everything safe and distant? A lot of things going on. All these businesses try to accommodate all this stuff, and it's a major fundraiser for a museum of contemporary art and things like that. But in the end of it all, the Boardwalk Art Show made the same decision that hundreds of other events in this area have made this decision and said we had to cancel the whole event. That canceled all the related plans. That canceled, and every one of these decisions, it doesn't just affect like J&A Racing or the Boardwalk Art Show or MoCA. That's the suppliers to those businesses, the employees of those businesses. All the corollary things that happen, when people come down, 20,000 people come down to a St. Pat's Day race.
Well, I mean, 30,000 people times $100 thing, $100 buy-in. Right.
But how many of those people are also staying in a hotel room?
No, but that's just that race, right? So then there's that, plus the 30, probably 15,000 of those people are staying here, then going to the establishments, and then,
exactly.
I mean, tons of lost revenue.
That's suppliers and janitorial services and all kinds of businesses, some big ones, but a lot of small family businesses that supply things. There's a little printer downstairs, commercial printing. Got to know this older couple. They've had businesses in this area for years. They're right next to our entrance downstairs, but you wouldn't even notice they're there because they're not on the web. They're just old school printing presses and everything else, but they print a ton of stuff right down the ocean front. They've been just trying to survive this year. And nobody even knows they're there.